watching here is medical tyranny. And medical tyranny has been going on for years.
Like the Supreme Court in Michigan, for example, had ruled against Governor Whitmore's COVID executive orders. We've seen a federal judge in Pennsylvania ruled that the shutdown orders violated the Constitution. But this is going at it from a completely different angle. This is challenging the emergency itself, which I find to be that's essentially the heart of the problem, the root of the problem, so to speak, because this is giving the government the power to supersede and sidestep the natural rule of law. So
What was not working was these lawsuits where people would say, my constitutional rights are being violated. They were, they are. We know that, right? But then the government shows up and says, well, but it's an emergency. Well, we know that that's not true, but when the judge hears that, the if there is an emergency, these governors or whoever it is that's being sued in court, they have huge broad powers under the emergency declaration. Okay, so the case gets settled in favor of the government. But I was watching this in the early summer, and I'm thinking, my gosh, we've got to change course because these lawsuits are not going to go anywhere as long as the government can claim emergency. So, interestingly enough, about the time that I was figuring out that what we needed to do is file a lawsuit challenging the emergency, because then they can't show up and say it's an emergency. They got to prove it's an emergency.
we are all subjected to this medical tyranny. It does not discriminate against party lines. So that's definitely very interesting. And I really like going after the root of the problem, the emergency itself.
So, we claim that there's no emergency, that officials know it. They're essentially committing fraud. We don't directly say that in a lawsuit, but that's the implication.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Spiro with ActivistPost.com. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I have an excellent guest for you, but before I bring her on, just a couple of quick updates. First of all, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. Secondly, yesterday I published an interview with James Perloff, and it lasted about an hour on YouTube before YouTube removed it. Now, that video, just like this one and every other video I produce, is available on my BitChute channel, so make sure you follow my work over there. Also,